The continuing violence in Egypt has elicited strong reactions here in Europe. A number of leaders have evoked the danger of civil war in Egypt, which is something they say has to be avoided at all cost. During the day, there have been a number of high-level telephone calls between leaders. Let's gauge some of the statements they've been making. The French President, François Hollande, in a statement, utterly condemned the bloody violence in Egypt and called for an immediate halt to the crackdown. As for the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, she said that because of the recent developments in Egypt, the German government would review its ties with Egypt. And the EU representative, Catherine Ashton, said responsibility for this tragedy weighs heavily on the interim government, as well as on the wider political leadership in the country. Now, demonstrations have been taking place all over Europe and further afield. There have been protests in Turkey. We should remember that Turkey has in fact recalled its ambassador to Egypt, and also in Berlin and here in Paris as well. EU senior diplomats will be meeting at the beginning of next week, and there are also plans to hold a EU foreign ministers meeting in order that European countries can coordinate their policies at the highest level.
And more international reaction to the events in Egypt. King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia has called on Arabs to stand together against attempts to destabilize the country.
We have been following with deep concern the unfortunate events unfolding in our sister country, Egypt. I appeal to the leaders of Egypt, together with the leaders of the Arab and Muslim states, including wise men, thinkers and scholars, to join forces and stand in the face of all those attempting to destabilize a country deep-rooted in the history of the Arab and Muslim nation, and not to remain silent. Let the whole world know that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, people and government, was and is standing side by side with their brothers in Egypt against terrorism, misguidedness and division, or those attempting to intervene in the country's domestic affairs.